And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Feller, aka the Gonzogoose, back with you for another review talking about the Lazarus Contract Part 2. That's right, as promised, Teen Titans issue number 18. The story in this issue is by Priest, Benjamin Percy, and Dan Abnett. Script by Benjamin Percy. Breakdowns by Phil Hester. Pencils by Koi Pham. Inks by Wade Von Grawbadger. Colors by Jim Charles Lampetus, and letters by Corey Breen. And like I said, this is the second part of this crossover between Teen Titans and Deathstroke. And it's, you know, as I mentioned in the review of Titans, this is kind of a play on the Judas Contract. It's bringing it back up. It's all focused on Deathstroke being angry at the Titans, blaming them for his son's death. And as we left off in last issue, both Wally Wests were held in these contraptions where Deathstroke was siphoning off the Speed Force from them, and Wally had broken free and was confronting Deathstroke. And that's where we pick up with this issue as the two Wallys meet, and Kid Flash Wally West from Teen Titans is like, how can you be Wally West? And he's, you know, and we get this whole background of how Kid Flash came to be captured by Deathstroke. And it was really interesting because, you know, Wally is like running, and he's angry at Barry because, you know, he doesn't feel like he can trust him. He lied to him. He can't trust his dad. He doesn't have any father figure, and that's kind of going through his brain when all of a sudden Wally, being, you know, the car aficionado he is, sees a broken down fancy car with a, you know, the special engine. I don't remember what kind of car it was, but it was like, you know, V10 or V18. I don't know what it was. I'm not a car guy, but it was a fancy car, and he wanted to work on it. And this guy was like, it was broken down. He's like, sure, and it pans out, and it's Wade Wilson. And this was at the beginning of the book, and you're like, okay, so he let him work on his car, get it revved up, fed him lunch, kind of befriended him, kind of became a wayward kind of father figure to him, which was what he was lacking. He played him like a fiddle, basically, and got him strapped up to this contraption to take his Speed Force because he wants to change time. And the deal was that he would never be Deathstroke again. So in the meantime, you've got Robin gathering his troops because their Wally is missing as well. They haven't seen him, and, you know, you got the Titans over there, you know, kind of still wondering what happened to their Wally and searching for him and everything. And so Robin deduces that it's all Nightwing's fault. And nobody knows why, but everybody knows that Nightwing is keeping something from everybody. There's a part of this whole story that he's not telling everybody. And, you know, it turns out that he made a deal with Deathstroke. So I'm not going to go into what that deal is and all this stuff, but he kind of took the blame, and there was, you know, tension between the two teams, even though they decided finally they need to work together to rescue their two teammates and find out what's going on. And the culmination of it is something happens that nobody wants, and Deathstroke, well, let's just say he siphoned that Speed Force energy for a reason, and things aren't looking pretty for the Titans or, you know, the time stream. So very good issue. I actually think I like this issue better than the Titans issue. I thought the art was fantastic throughout this book. I love some of the close-ups. I have one little nitpick, which was with the inking. There was like some heavy inking when they were doing shadows on the faces and like on the foreheads and on the side of the head. It was like just these black blobs, and it just looked weird. It was out of place. It didn't look like shadow. It just looked like they had these spots on their faces. That was my only nitpick with the art. Aside from that, I thought it was fantastic. You had these beautiful vibrant colors popping out at you of, you know, like there's a close-up of Robin as he's you know, being broody or whatever, and, you know, when I forget who had him by the cape but picked him up, and he was like, put me down, and just stuff like this. And there was a beautiful panel layout where Nightwing is admitting that he made this deal, and he's like at the top panel, but he's like kind of overlapping these other panels below him, and he's got his arms up, and it's just this beautiful layout and this beautiful you know, panel work for Nightwing. I really love that piece. And there's a scene like kind of after the intro, right where the credits are, it's this 2-page spread where you have the two teams facing off, and it's kind of this stair-stepping as they fade into the distance, and it's a nice, iconic kind of scene, I think. And you had a lot of character moments here as the two teams. You find out how similar they are in, you know, the kind of characters they have. You have both Starfire and Donna Troy, who are not your, you know, they're warriors. They're kind of warriors, and you have your two Atlanteans. And there was a nice moment between, I can't remember what they're calling Calderon in this. I know he's got a completely different name. I can't remember what his name is, but anyway, there's a moment where Tempest asks him, well, so what are you, Atlantean or what? And he's like, I don't know. And you know, at first they're at odds and they're fighting, and then later on Tempest is like, maybe I can help you figure things out. And it was just this nice you know, balance. At first they're like, there's tension because, you know, one team is blaming the other team for their teammate being lost and all this stuff, and then they figure out, hey, we're all Titans, we need to come together and you know, figure this thing out. And then they're starting to help each other out, and it becomes like this extended family kind of feel. And I love that aspect of the book. And then, you know, Deathstroke's reasoning, it's sound. He's wanting to save his children. I mean, that's the whole basis of this. It's a father's love for his child that he lost. And so you can't really completely blame him for his actions here, but at the same time, dude's a villain, and he's kidnapping people and using their powers. So it's just this very interesting story. And again, it plays to the Judas Contract, the classic story with Deathstroke and the Titans, and it's a fantastic follow-up so far. So far, I've been really impressed with this, and this is the first issue of a Teen Titans book, not counting Titans, but a Teen Titans book that I've liked, and I can't tell you how long. And like I said, I like this issue better than the last one. I gave the last one a pretty high score. So I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. I thought it was a brilliant book. I love this story so far. I can't wait. I might have given Titans a 4.5 too. I don't remember. I'm tempted to give it 4 3/4, but I'm going to stick by 4.5 just because of my nitpick with the art. But fantastic, and I think overall I'm going to be giving this story high marks. If, you know, the next two parts are as strong as these two have been, I'm really going to enjoy the conclusion of the story, or the second half of the story. So that's my thoughts on this issue. Not a whole lot of negative to say about this. Like I said, the one thing about the art, I thought the dialogue was spot on. I love the pacing of the issue. I love the background, the explanations of how we got here, and the relationship that they've kind of forged with Deathstroke and Kid Flash, because we know where that's going. Looking forward to Titans East, and you know, they've planted the seeds there. So I thought that was brilliant as well. So those are my thoughts. 4.5 stars for Teen Titans issue number 18. When's the last time I could say that? And hats off to the creative team for that. So that's going to wrap it up for this review. Check out all the other reviews, all the other content here on Comic Frontline, and join us on Tuesdays for our live show, Comic Frontline Live, at 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. As we talk about our top 5s, we'll probably be talking about this book. I'll put that out there. And you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Brant Fowler. My YouTube channel is at Brant Fowler, where I do a weekly series about Monday Musings. You can also check me out at LastNumberPress.com, Zone4Podcast.com, ComicFrontline.com, of course, right here on Comic Frontline, and on What the Card on YouTube. So until next time, please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and until next time, I'll see you next week.